So this is the magic gate. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this guy before. And you've seen some of the other projects I've done in the backyard. This is part of a larger project. It's probably one of the earlier things we did for the backyard. And it's a little fanciful. It's a little wild and crazy, magical. That's why it's called the magic gate. And it's not like my usual furniture. If you're familiar with my furniture, this is something different. This is wild and crazy. It's kind of fun to take the restraints off sometimes and not be serious and just go a little nutty. That's what this is. That's what the backyard is. This job was done entirely on the CNC. Depending on the time of year, these glass rondelles and these little diamonds here, they light up depending on where the sun is, all that stuff. And they cast neat colors out. There's more glass in the backyard. For this project, early one, all these rondelles were bought locally, and these little diamonds. Lately, I've been getting it at Kokomo Opalescent Glass in Indiana. They have a website and they have all kinds of rondelles that are really, really neat. No sponsorship. I get nothing from Kokomo. Anyway, let's go into the backyard, have a look. Warning, this is a work in progress. There's still a lot of work to be done. It's not finished. There's a deck and there's a railing, and all the railing has not been done yet. But let's go have a look. So this was done several years ago. This is this little spiral. We had this walkway going over here and a sidewalk here. We added all this stuff here and here. That was mostly Terry's idea, Terry's concept. I came up with the idea of the spiral. Terry did this side, I did this side. Terry did a lot better job on her side. I like what she did here. Mine looks kind of pitiful in comparison. So the pond, we did this several years ago. This was Terry's brainchild completely. She designed it, researched all the stuff she needed to do for to pumping the water and filtering and what plants to go in there and what fish. You can see we have a netting over the pond. That's because the blue heron have eaten numerous fish. They've come down here and just flew away with them. The image on the left is what I see when I exit my shop. As you can see, we do not have lawn in the backyard. To the right of the paved path is all vegetable garden. To the left is the pond. Down at the end of the paved path is the deck. This photo was taken a while ago before I started on the rails. The image on the right is the deck as it exists today, in progress. You can see some of the railing is done. You can see where I've left off, and there's a lot of blank spaces. There's the metal gazebo. If in a perfect world and I had all the time there was in the world, I would have made a wooden one. But there's only so much woodworking I can get to in this lifetime. I will be replacing the table there with a nice wooden one, maybe in another year or so. This is the plan view of the deck, looking down from the top. I've stayed fairly close to the original plan, a few very minor changes. You can see I rotated the gazebo where it was not parallel to the house. I like that arrangement a little better. It doesn't look so blocky and predictable. To join the deck boards, I used a squiggly line rather than a miter or a butt joint. The squiggly line was flush trimmed to a template which had been cut out on my CNC. The two boards were gathered together and scabbed with a common plate on the bottom. This was the first section of railing I did. It faces east, gets morning sun. The idea is to illuminate the glass. The glass is all lit up and kind of sparkly and stuff, but also to cast shadows and colored shadows and shapes and stuff that makes it interesting. This is the next section I did. As you can see, it's a little different than the first. It's a little higher. It's at an angle to the first section. I wanted all these sections to kind of be their own thing. They related to the overall, but they have their own personality, each section. And these parts were cut out on my CNC. It's not only that the light is shining through the rondelles, the glass, and casting shadows and shapes and all that, but it changes as the day goes on. We really love watching those changes. Here's some time lapse to show you. The one on the left was a rainy day and sun was going in and behind the clouds. The one on the right was a sunny day. And as I get further into the rail project, you can see the restraints come off a little further. One person described this section as Dr. Seuss meets steampunk, and it has its own personality. Again, this was cut out on the CNC. On the upper left there, you can see where I used some templates and stuff cut out on the CNC to position those pieces. That was a challenge on this one. So this is another time lapse. This one doesn't capture the whole day, but it does give you an idea of how the shadows and the patterns play. And as you can see, this is Jack's favorite section. So this is a section that's up next. As you can see, I've inserted some Photoshop trickery in place of the blank space. On the left, you see a detail. As I've said, this is a work in progress, so stay tuned.